talking through my trauma with you so I feel less alone. Hey, what's up you guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, hello, I'm Lydia, and if you are new here, make sure you hit the subscribe button, join the growing family, turn notifications on, and way down there give me a thumbs up because it really does help me out. First of all, I'd like to apologise for the beeping noise. This is as annoying for you as it is for me. Let's jump into this video. My trauma started when I was my mum was physically and emotionally abusive, and that happened until I was 14, 15. The only reason the physical abuse stopped was because she went to hit me and I grabbed her arm like that. Like she went to hit me and I went like that. And I stopped her because I don't know why she did this, but she paid for me to go to karate and martial arts stuff, and I got quite strong. I might have had an eating disorder, but I was quite strong. And I was able to prevent her from hurting me. She never laid another finger on me after that. I think it scared her, if I'm being honest. And I'm going to say this. Good. I'm glad it scared her. A big part of my trauma also comes from my dad. My dad was never around when I was a kid. He wasn't around until not last year, the year before, so 2014. He wasn't around when I was growing up, and that abandonment really took its toll on me. It's probably part of the reason why I have BPD as a diagnosis. But it really did traumatise me. I was like, what did I do wrong that he doesn't want to be with me? And I blamed myself, and I know now I shouldn't have blamed myself, but I was young, you know, what else are you going to do? When I was 13, I was admitted to my first psychiatric hospital where I was abused mentally and physically and sexually. I'm not going to go into the details of it because of legal issues regarding that, but I was abused in hospital. And while I did get put on the right medication, I was physically, I was mentally, and I was sexually abused. And nothing anyone says or does will change that. You're probably wondering why I can talk about this without getting emotionally attached to it all. This year I finished doing trauma therapy. I've kind of come to terms with a lot of my trauma. There are still some things that I struggle with. Then fast forward to 2016, I started to abuse alcohol and cocaine. And I'm being honest about that. I used to use cocaine. That's where my money went. Did I care that it was illegal? Did I enjoy it? Yeah. Would I do it again? No, in all seriousness, no, I wouldn't touch it again because it did damage my body. But the trauma from that comes in is I got so high and drunk that my boyfriend at the time brought his friends into my flat and they raped me. If you watched my last video, you know all about this. That traumatised me. I think rape would do anybody though. Like, I don't think you can be raped and not be emotionally damaged by it because people are taking something from you that you didn't want to give. It's why I still struggle with sexual activity now. I'm actually afraid of sexual activity because I don't want it to happen again. It's happened so many times to me. I can't go through it again. I just can't. Which is why I don't drink alcohol. And I take medication, so I can't drink. The next lot of trauma comes in 2021. Me and my girlfriend broke up and it caused a nervous breakdown. I was put on Section 3, I was detained against my will, and I was in hospital for a year because of that. Everything built up, and then she broke up with me and blamed me for not being able to work, and I was in no fit state to work. Like, I couldn't get a job because I had like 2-3 appointments a week. I was on weekly prescriptions. I had to pick up my prescriptions once a week. You know, I don't drive because I can't. And the reason that was traumatising is because I lost someone that I really cared about. Another lot of trauma that I have is when my ex-boyfriend committed suicide in front of me. Basically, we was arguing on the bus. We got kicked off the bus because we were being loud and he slapped me. I slapped him back. We were being violent towards each other. We got kicked off the bus. So we went to the train station, went to the right side of the platform. And when the train was pulling in, he was like, "This is because of you." And he jumped. And that was traumatising. That's one thing I still need to work on. Like, I hate getting on trains because of it, because I'm scared that I'm either going to fall in front of a train or someone's going to jump in front of a train, and it gets so overwhelming that I struggle to get on trains. Like, I haven't gone up to my mum's for my mum's birthday. That was on the 3rd of December, the 3rd of August. 3rd of April, and I couldn't go up because I've been too anxious about getting trains. Like, next month when I go to visit my boyfriend Kyle, I'm not getting a train, I'm getting a coach. So that really fucked me up, to be honest. I'm just gonna be blunt, it fucked me up. And like I said, I still need to work on that one. There's a difference between losing someone to suicide and witnessing a loved one commit suicide. Witnessing someone do it and there's nothing you can do to get rid of that memory. Like, you forget all the good times, if there were good times. There wasn't good times with me and this partner, but I didn't think he was a bad person. Didn't want him dead, you know. I wanted him alive because I loved him. And he committed suicide, and it was so fucking traumatising. Another lot of trauma that I have, again, revolves around cocaine use. This time in London, which is where I live now. I basically moved in with someone I met on Twitter who was a cocaine dealer, and according to him, he worked for the Bulgarian mafia. And I believed him. But the reason I believed him is because one of his friends came in with a gun and put the gun on the table and started using cocaine, and I was just like, oh fuck. So I made a call to my support worker and I was like, I need to get out of here. She sent me to the housing office, they said they couldn't help me. And then he kicked me out. So I made a YouTube video on it, and I got called delusional, I got called all sorts of things. Everything under the sun you can imagine, I got called. Because I exposed him, basically. And he was like, oh, I never said that, she's just a cocaine addict. And I wasn't even using cocaine at that time. Like, he was, but I wasn't. Witnessing the gun getting put on the table put me in a fight or flight response, because life or death becomes real. If you make one wrong decision, you can end up dead. And that was very real, and it scared me. And it still does scare me because these people have seen my face and they know I live in Fulham. Like, that's why I'm not posting this video on my main channel, because I'd be scared if I did. The online trauma that I experienced is something else. For those of you who don't know, I was trolled relentlessly for 5 years on social media by the same 4 people. And one of them still goes at me on Reddit, which is ridiculous because it's been like 7 years. I have a restraining order against this person and they're still doing it. But it's a lot. Like, these people were wishing me dead. You know, when people wish you dead, you don't get suicidal, and then when you attempt suicide and say, oh, it's because of that, they're like, oh, don't blame us for your actions. I'm not saying it's okay to blame suicide on someone else, but their actions lead you to that conclusion because they don't shut the fuck up. And that's what's hard about it. And the final bit of trauma that I want to talk about, my most severe suicide attempt was when I overdosed on gliclazide, which is a diabetic medication that I still take to this day. But I overdosed on it and my blood sugar dropped to 1.3. I don't know how I was still conscious, if I'm being honest. I should have been in a coma. And I tried to leave A&E and they was like, we're dealing with the Mental Capacity Act. And that was the first time I'd ever had the Mental Capacity Act used against me. Because until that point, I've always had capacity. And yes, you can be sectioned and have capacity. I was placed on a section 5-2 as well, which is a 72-hour hold. That's how I ended up in my year-long admission. That overdose nearly killed me. And it's only when you come that close to death that you realise you don't want to die. When it's too late. If I hadn't been taken to A&E by the crisis team, I would have been dead. Because I wouldn't have phoned for help. Because every time I phone for help, they send police. And the police are like, oh, you'll be okay. Or, oh, we'll take you to hospital. And the hospital's like, oh yeah, you can go home. And this time it wasn't like that. The crisis team came to my flat, saw me lethargic, saw the empty boxes of pills, because I'd been stockpiling it for this reason. I had about 2 months worth of Glipizide at 60 milligrams. If the crisis team hadn't come, I wouldn't be here today. And truth be told, I don't know how I would have been found because my flatmate didn't talk to me. And that's where I'm going to end today's video. That's my trauma. And you can expect more videos talking about trauma and PTSD recovery and all things like that on this channel. If you want to see more mainstream mental health videos like schizoaffective disorder, BPD, vlogs, occasional videos about PTSD, check out my main channel. If you want to see videos about eating disorders, check out my second channel. I'll link them all in the description down below. If you want to support the channel, you can check out my Patreon. I'll link that in the description down below as well. And yeah, I will see you in my next video. Make sure you subscribe with notifications turned on. Bye.